that would go over, but, that's the world we live in now. So.
All right.
This is Paul Catalina's Top 5 at 5:55.
Brought to you by SlapStix Comedy Club, opening this weekend. Get your tickets now, slapstixcomedy.com. I will be doing improv at 7 o'clock on Saturday and stand-up at 9. It's 2 different shows, so 2 different tickets you'd have to buy if you're just that big a fan of me. But that's on Saturday, July 10th. They've got a headliner coming in, funniest comic in Texas, 2012 on Friday night. So please get your tickets, slapstixcomedy.com. All right, top 5 Baylor players we are anxious to see. And these are all guys who... recruiting hype or have played a little bit, but now are going to be thrust into bigger roles. And so people, I say we're anxious. I mean, the collective Baylor observation world.
I have one note on the USA team. Can I mention this real quick? Because I just saw this. Jalen Rose conveniently left out that Kevin Love is only the second white NBA player to make the Olympic team since 1996. The second. John Stockton was the only other one.
So who happens to be maybe the greatest point guard along with Magic Johnson and who maybe one day Luka.
I didn't know that stat until just now because I see Jalen Rose and I tune out. But, yeah, that's another little...
Bulletproof, man.
Good one, dude.
He's bulletproof.
Good one. What a great point you made there,
yeah,
Jalen.
Yeah. All right, number 5.
Wait a minute, what are we doing?
Baylor players we're anxious to see.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, the collective we.
All right.
The collective we. Number 5, LORANDO Johnson, very highly recruited defensive back, steps into a secondary that's got some experience, but in Dave Aranda's defense, he does use a lot of depth in that secondary, and so I do think that this is a guy that we could see after a redshirt freshman year last year.
How many of these 5 are former attached to LSU?
Just him, I think.
Okay, all right.
Yeah, just him.
All right.
Yeah, just him. And some of them are just...
Well, it'd only be one other person, but okay.
Yeah, so, all right, yeah. And these, again, like Siaki Ika wouldn't be on this list. It's not on this list. All right, number 4, Seth Jones. Wide receiver, big guy. I think about he had the best puppet in the recruiting day, but with a wide receiver room that I don't really know. I know who should be, but that next wave needs to start showing up. Because guys like R.J. Sneed and Tyquan Thornton them will be gone soon. So Seth Jones is someone I think I'm anxious to see take that next step.
With all due respect to Seth, I haven't thought much about him. And, there's a lot of guys that deal with injuries.
He made this list to me over Jackson Gleason, who's been on the roster longer.
We saw him in the playoff game.
Yeah.
He did catch one long pass for South Lake Carroll, didn't he, against Midway? Yeah.
Yeah, maybe, but he did basically nothing in that game.
Yeah.
I was not walking away very impressed with him after that. Because and also when you only hear one thing about a guy over and over and over again, he's so fast. He's so fast. He's so fast. He's so fast. Well, tell me something else about him. Do you know he's really fast? Okay, that's great. Well, that does tell me something. So yeah, Seth Jones, I think is, he's younger in his career. He's definitely got to keep an eye on, but yeah, they definitely need some receivers to step up behind R.J. Sneed, and they need even R.J. Sneed and Tyquan Thornton to step up.
They need Holmes and Jalen Ellis and all those guys. Yeah.
Well, it's funny you bring up Jalen Ellis.
All right.
Number 3.
I didn't know this.
Jalen Ellis.
You never let me know this.
No, I don't. I don't for a reason. Number 3, Jalen Ellis. This is maybe the guy I think who has the most potential to break out of the wide receivers that we haven't seen a whole lot of. I talked about Fleeks. You can talk about Fleeks and R.J. Sneed, all those guys. But Jalen Ellis, we saw some flashes of him last year, late in the season, that this is a guy who can boogie, who can catch the ball, who can be a big play receiver, who can maybe do some things
we saw,
all over the field.
Wasn't there a couple of plays he made last year?
He made a touchdown in the spring game, and then he taunted, and he got in trouble, if you'll remember that.
Good.
Yeah, because he was loafing and bragging or whatever he was doing after he caught the ball. So I think he's just somebody that needs to mature a little bit and – obviously came in and has the speed and has the quicks, but
he started out a career with an ACL. Right?
Yeah,
Didn't he have coming out of high school?
Yeah, but he's had time now to get bigger and do all those things you're supposed to do if you're not quite up to snuff right away. But I mean, the problem the last couple of years has been they haven't had anybody who can throw the ball to these guys. Mm-hmm. Like whether it was Charlie's arm or the pressure he was facing. I mean, the reason why Jacob ZENO came in and wowed everybody over 2 whole plays, quite frankly, was because he threw it deeper down the field.
Save it.
No, but I mean, he threw it down the field, and that's what sparked him. And everybody's like, "Oh my God, we did a play over 20 yards."
Yeah, Kirk, save it for 2 people.
But I'm trying to make the point of that has played into it as well. So Seth Jones and all these guys, they have a prime opportunity to go do something.
Yeah, I like your enthusiasm. Keep it going in a couple things. Number 2,
mention that name again?
Yeah, BYRON HANSPARD Jr. came with a lot of hype, and he's the guy who is
where his dad went back and got his degree. I think
one of the highest character guys on the team. He's going to be a leader on the team. Would like to see him be a contributor on this team.
Yeah, he's an incredible guy. Could run for president. That kind of person. But now let's see what he can do in football.
Now that he's a veteran on the team, so to speak.
Yeah, he's great off the field. I think he's probably one of the sharpest young men they have on the entire team. Just well-rounded and all those things. But has made little to no dents on the field.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as just memorable things, I've seen him out there, but I can't tell you a single play that he's made, and he's at the end of his clock. So, if he's going to do it, it has to be this year.
All right. And number 1, and to your point, Craig, Jacob ZENO.
Man, we don't share this information with us.
Yeah, I don't. But, and Craig's point is great. I think people, it is weird to me how people are so, and not that they shouldn't be in his corner for whatever reason, but they're so in his corner over a couple of throws. I mean, it is... If you were trying to test a scientific theory based on the evidence we've seen from Jacob ZENO, they wouldn't even let you publish the paper. There's not enough evidence. Not to say that he's not going to be a fantastic player. I don't know. But the amount of people who are already sold on Jacob ZENO is...
Well, I got to tell you, though, and everyone always used to sit there and just blast away at me because I defended Charlie as much as possible. It wasn't that I was defending Charlie. I just was telling the truth of what I saw. And poor Jacob ZENO gets caught in this thing. It's not his fault. But those 2 throws he made were dynamic. I mean, they were monstrous in big moments in a big game where he could have come in and just froze.
Well,
even though his stats for the rest of the game were not much, or even last year because he never got a chance, he did flash something, and God help him. I hope that for his sake, that's who we see coming up.
Yeah, if Chris Platt doesn't get caught from behind,
they win the Big 12 championship.
They beat
most
Oklahoma
likely.
for a Big 12 title if that doesn't happen. But I mean, we talk about him making a couple passes. You look back at the stats; it was legitimately just 2 passes.
Yeah.
He completed 2 passes. That's everybody's memory from that game was 2 passes. That's it.
But they were both huge.
No, I understand that, but I'm saying people are literally going off of
I know.
2 plays.
It's like a guy who comes in as a backup quarterback in the final drive and throws a couple plays. But you're right. I mean, last year he did.
But they were 2 catches for 159 yards and a touchdown, and should have been 2 touchdowns.
Yeah.
And so, we just didn't see anything resembling that ever with Charlie running the offense. We just didn't. And that's a shame, but new era, so let's see if they can't get that going.
Baylor added a junior college transfer pitcher, Brett Garcia. Thanks to